be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. I have been MIA because I was in Egypt for the last, oh my God, more than 2 weeks. Went on an amazing trip. I am still integrating the experience, but it's been really amazing. It was like out of this world. So many things happened, and yeah, exactly right. And it was wild. Like my head is still spinning from everything that happened, and just trying to like ground myself into the fact that I actually had that experience. I am going to be doing a broadcast. I don't know if it's going to be Zoom, and I'm going to do it on YouTube, but I'm going to figure something out where I will share my experience more formally, and, you know, share images and talk about all the things all the temples that we visited, and what, you know, what I went through personally during those 12 days of the trip. So be on the lookout for that, because I do want to do that. I think it's very important. And there was some huge, powerful things that were going on at our, you know, in a microcosmic level for the group that went to Egypt, that I feel very much will affect and is already affecting the collective. So it was like a microcosmic experience with a very macrocosmic like activation. There's no other way to describe it. And it was amazing. So I'm happy to be back. I'm still a little bit like like all over the place. I don't think I have fully grounded yet, but I wanted to definitely make sure I got back on track with all the broadcasts. And today is Monday, and on Mondays we do our weekly astrology and tarot reading. So we're going to be diving into the astrology of this week, the significant events that will be happening. And I'll also be pulling some cards. Hey, that's the magician. Some cards to see what the messages are for us for this week. So before we dive in, let me say hi to everybody that is here and that is interacting in the chat. Hello, Tara, welcome in. Yeah, definitely still on cloud 9. And I also can't wait to share my adventure in more detail. like I said, I'm still integrating. So there's still things, pieces of the puzzle coming together, and the realizations are still coming in, and the downloads are still coming in. So it's going to be a while, for of that going on before I can fully understand the scope of what happened. Hello, Mary. Welcome in. Hello, Raessa. Welcome in. And Anya and Ashley. I know, right? Oh, God, it's so crazy. I feel like I came back to a different life and a different world. And I literally feel like at least me personally, and I know, like, people in the community, my community specifically, but everyone on the trip, like, I feel like we are no longer in the same world that we were in when we left. You know how Dolores Cannon talks about the 5D world, and I've never really fully attached to this, like, 5D, but I feel like we have definitely stepped into a new timeline. We activated a new timeline for the collective. We legit activated and opened up the Stargate that is the pyramid, the King's Chamber. And everyone in that group was a part of the experience. And it was called the 144 Alpha Omega Expedition for a very specific reason. And I mean, it was chaotic and a mixed bag of so many feelings and emotions and experiences. But in the end, I mean, I feel it was a beautiful symphony, like a perfect symphony of, like, this, I don't know, the story that unfolded. So I will share more, and it'll sound more cohesive when I share when I prepare for it, because I do feel like I'm all over the place still. But okay, so it's kind of crazy too, because I just got back, and for the first time in this lifetime, I went to Egypt and I visited all the temples. And this is something that I teach in my moon goddess training. And the moon goddess training is approaching. And so is our new moon in Pisces that is happening on the 27th. So next week, we have the official initiation and activation, like stepping into the initiatic path. And this time in the moon goddess training, I am bringing some major downloads from the temples and the Nile path. I literally was on a cruise ship on the Nile river, and I got to chant peyote songs, and I got to do an Akashic healing chamber, you guys, for everybody. That was crazy. Oh my God, like, there's so much. But I can't wait for us, in, whoever is going to be a part of the moon goddess training, to receive the downloads. Like, this group, and I knew this from a long time ago, that 2025 for the moon goddess training was going to be a very powerful year. Couldn't put my finger on it. And it wasn't until I was invited on this trip to Egypt by Robert Grant as faculty to share my wisdom and knowledge of the gene keys and human design and astrology, and why I use all three systems and why it helps me do the most accurate readings, that I realized why this year was going to be different. And I can't even put it into words still, the power of the group that will be going through the moon goddess training this year. Like, it will be activated in a way that it has never before. And this is the fourth year that it's running. The first year was in 2022, and it started with the activations of Egypt with Matthias. And our first moon goddess training, I remember, like, we were the ether group and following along the whole experience, like, online. And we even watched it together, like the pyramid activations and all this stuff. And it was amazing. And we've been doing the moon goddess training since then. And there's links moving through each of the years. And this being the fourth year is also very significant. 4 is it's a really, beautiful number. It's the number of, like, to me, it feels stable. And it also is about the neutral mind and connecting the dots and moving out of the negative mind and the positive mind and transcending that duality into the equal point, like the middle path, the middle way. It's also the 4 elements, you know, we're getting to the 4th element. And I don't know, everything about this experience this year feels just phenomenal. And maybe some of you guys that are watching this video are hearing about the Moon Goddess training for the first time. And it is, I'll share a little bit more about it because I do want to put the word out. And I did a meditation today, and it was a very powerful meditation. I had a really powerful visualization where I called in all of the women that are to be a part of this experience together. And I literally felt like from the king's chamber, like the energy shooting up into the air and spanning out like a flower, these lines, these lights that landed in the heart of each woman that was going to be a part of this experience. And yeah, and then I felt the power of like the manifestation that is so activated right now, more than I have ever felt it before. And I felt like it was really important for me to sit down and tune in and call in the Star Sisters to come in that are meant to be a part of this group for this year. So, man, like if you are one of those sisters, I can't freaking wait. So to give you a little bit of more of a kind of a summary of what this program is really all about, it's a mystery school. It became a mystery school when I realized that the topics that I was teaching were the topics and the things that we learned in the initiatic path in ancient Atlantis. And ancient Atlantis is the same as this area, ancient Egypt, the Nile, and the temples along the Nile that were built to access the information, to activate the energy, and to turn on the web, the power of the Akashic, to learn how to interact with the Akashic records by understanding sacred geometry, hermetic alchemy, laws of the universe, you know, the emerald tablets of Thoth. Like, there is information that lives in your DNA, in all of our DNA. It's like the whole gene keys activation, that when we remember the information, it turns on and we fully understand our part here. We are a piece of the whole and a fractal of the one. And when we learn to love, and this is one of the most powerful lessons that I feel this whole trip was about for me and for the group too. When you learn to love your part, that's when you heal. When you learn to love the fractal that you represent of the whole, that's when you fully integrate. And that part is basically you falling in love with yourself. And I don't mean that in a narcissistic way. I mean you falling in love with life. You not looking for any more answers and just living fully the questions in your life. And if you're able to do that, that's you stepping into your full design. And when you love your little piece, the little part of the play that you came here to experience, that's when you are like fully embodying your uniqueness. And that uniqueness can be learned by studying things like these topics of hermetic alchemy, but also your astrology chart, knowing all these different archetypes that you embody and the way that you embody them, which is unique to you, that was imprinted the moment that you were born and at the location that you were born, with the stars that were, you know, present there and were the location of the planets. And it was the same moment that imprinted your gene keys chart, and it was the same moment that imprinted your human design chart. And that's why in the Moon Goddess training, we dive into all 3 of them. And we learn not only for ourselves, but we learn to understand how these systems work and interact with each other and can give us a full picture. Because the goal is to remember that which you already know. But we do this, especially in level 1, by moving through the initiatic path, the ancient temples along the Nile, you know, starting with the root chakra and the sacral, and then the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and eventually we get to the crown, the pyramid. And oh my God, like it is phenomenal to me that I have been teaching this for it's going to be, 3 years now, and I am finally able to I was finally able to feel what it was like to be there in person, and the energy of each of the temples is so unique. It's like they each have a code. They each emanate like a lesson and a teaching by the way they were built, the way they were set up, what they were used for, the hieroglyphics on the walls. Like every piece of each temple is unique to itself. And to be there in person and to feel that code, it truly activated me. And that's literally what we start with, this Akashic Priestess path, so that you also can begin to remember the information. And like I said, it already lives inside of you. You just have to remember who you are, literally. And then we take that information, and in level 2, we dive deeper into the healing of the wounding patterns in our lives, so that because you got to get to those deeper layers in order to truly heal. You have to see the shadows. You cannot have light without darkness. And that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned in the Great Pyramid. And it was unpredictable, and it came out of nowhere, and I was not expecting that lesson, but it was one of the most major ego deaths that I have ever experienced in my entire life. And it was beautiful. It was like a beautiful disaster. But that is a huge lesson, and seeing those shadows and being able to love them and accept them and just be with them seriously transmutes them. And now I'm like, can't stop laughing at the cosmic joke that it all is. And the way that we humans like to learn the hard way is really comical. And then level 3 is when you start to fully, hey, there's 14 people watching. I love that. The missing piece, the 14th piece. Level 3, you have gone through the initiatic path. You've been activated. And we literally go into the temples in the Akashic records. There's journeys for each of the temples. There's meditations for each of the temples. You learn what the temple was about, and you get to be in the energy of it. You get to have an experience of it. So you have both the mental learning experience and the physical with Kundalini meditations and mantras, and you embody it fully. You really truly embody it fully. We astral travel basically to the temples in level 1. And having that foundational understanding of everything is what paves the path and prepares you for level 3, where you learn to read the Akashic records. And I will say this, that to learn to read the Akashic records, the way that I teach it is very different, very unique to me and who I am as a mental projector with the right angle cross of consciousness. And reading the Akashic records, it's tapping into the consciousness of the universe, of the cosmic mind. And to do that, you need to understand what your sacred gifts are. And the only way to know that is to know your astrology, to know your gene keys, to know your human design, so that you are aware of how that cosmic consciousness will interact with you and how you will perceive the information the most clear way possible. And it is different for everyone. So not everyone's going to read the records in the same way, but everyone will read them in their own unique way. And you will come into alignment within yourself that will ultimately bring you into alignment and magnetize to you the people that you are meant to do readings for. And everything falls into alignment when you fall into alignment. And that's literally what we're going to do. This is why I'm so excited for this specific year, because of this energy that is coming with me and that has arrived, and it is time. It was time for the Moon Goddess training to get like a full-on upgrade, like a serious upgrade, because I think more and more we're stepping into the Aquarian age, and it's getting like this is where it needs to happen. We need to step into our purpose. We need to fully embody our unique selves. And this program is literally a beautiful manifestation of that flow. It's like a microcosm of the macrocosm of life. And you learn how to fully embody yourself so that you can play your little part, your little fractal, magically and beautifully for the collective. Because when you learn to fall in love with your little piece, that's when you win the game. And that's what I truly believe is coming in the Aquarian age. And it's here and it's time. So if you feel the call, like, I can't wait for us to begin. And we're starting soon. We're going to start on the new moon in Pisces, which begins February 27th. And this is a really beautiful segue to the astrology of this week, because what is happening tomorrow, which is the big day, is the sun is going to enter Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, which means that this is the last season of the astrological year. It starts with Aries and it ends with Pisces. Pisces is the completion. Pisces is the ending and also leads the way into the new beginning. Pisces season is where you learn to integrate but fully understand your spiritual lesson of the entire year. Personally, this is insane. Like, for me, I can't even fathom the magnitude. I can't even see how far into the future this experience is going to affect me. But I can also see and feel how far into the past it's been coming. It's been coming for a long time for me to have this experience in Egypt. And I've been feeling it, never fully consciously understood until it came, and it came fast. And that's how this is happening. Things are happening fast. And we have to be prepared and stay on our toes. So this is the last season. We are going to start to fully understand what our entire astrological year is about starting tomorrow. And there are beautiful aspects happening. And we are entering into eclipse season. We will see an eclipse, a full moon eclipse in Virgo with the South Node during this season. And it's going to be intense. Like, things are not going to slow down. And I'm not the only astrologer that, has been talking about this. I follow other astrologers and they've all been saying the same thing. 2025 is crazy. It's not going to slow down. So you need to stay on your toes, right? How do you do that? You remember who you are. So as the sun enters Pisces, you can see, like, there's going to be massive Pisces stellium with Mercury in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, North Node in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, Mars in Cancer making trines to this beautiful Pisces energy, and the moon in Scorpio also. So there, as we enter into the final mutable water season, you see the grand trine in water, where all of the frequencies of the emotions find a way to express themselves. Like the compassion and the love of Pisces, the nurturing and the mothering of Cancer, and the intensity and the emotional depth of Scorpio, ushering us into. I feel like we're being activated, like portals within portals. And one of the things I remember of all of the temples, there's these there's all these doors, and you keep walking through these doors, and you just feel like another reality, another dimension, another dimension. And I just feel like these are all portals that just you can't go back to where you were, even just yesterday. It's always moving us forward. And if you walk and if you put one foot in front of the other, you will step into You step through the portal and into the new world. And that's what it's all about, is letting go of what you thought it was going to be like, letting go of your old life, letting go of like everything from the past that will really not serve in the future. And when you let go, in a way, it's like you free yourself. Did you guys hear the story of that fish that only lives in the depths, deep depths of the ocean, that was found near the surface? Well, that to me, and it was like, it's a fish that's called like the fish of the darkness or something like that. And it reminded me of the monster of Andromeda, the story of Andromeda, which is the liberation of the soul. Like there is meaning everywhere, messages everywhere. Are you paying attention? You're either listening and aware, or you're not. One isn't right and one isn't wrong. It's just, are you, just the question, like, are you aware of how much things are like speaking to you and communicating to you, right? That's very important. So we enter a new portal with the sun moving into the sign of Pisces tomorrow. And then the next day we have a square from Mercury to Jupiter, which is going to activate the space of the mind and challenge us to think differently, to be more open-minded, and to allow new ideas, especially the ideas that come from the space of the cosmic consciousness that is this energy of Pisces. So channeling powerful downloads that come through. It's like, can you, I don't know why I just heard, can you feel the love tonight? That song in The Lion King, which is crazy. But can you feel the love that channels through this wisdom of Pisces, and then open your mind to really truly receive the messages that you're meant to receive? And I feel like that's what this is going to really activate for us. And then on the 22nd, so a few days later, the sun is going to make a beautiful conjunction to the Fomalhaut, which is one of the 4 royal fixed stars in the chart. And this star is connected to the fish. It's the fish that drinks the water from the Aquarius constellation, from the water bearer, that the water pours out of the water bearer's vase down towards the feet, and it creates this river, and Fomalhaut is the fish that's drinking that water. And it's about Christ consciousness. And it's Archangel Gabriel, who was the one archangel who came to Mary in the Annunciation and told her, you will bear a son, the Son of God. And so divine messages can come through this frequency. That's another portal. It's another beautiful activation that's emerging this week. And then when we finish the week on the 23rd is the day that Mars finally goes direct. Okay, like, thank God. And at that point, we are going to have all planets direct, but for a very, very short time. And so next week, and I'll tell you now because it is important. So Venus goes retrograde March 1st. Like February 28th into March 1st, Venus will go retrograde. Venus retrograde is a big deal because that means that's another portal, because she will make her conjunction with the sun. She's going to disappear from the sky. She's been the evening star this entire time, getting brighter and brighter and higher in the sky. And we saw her at the temple of Dendera right when we came out, when the sun set and the moon rose, and she was right there with Venus. And it was fucking amazing. I have pictures of it. Blew my mind because that temple is the temple of the astrology. the astrology, literally, I walked out to the night sky and the astrology in my face, and I was like, oh my God. And we saw Orion and Jupiter and Mars and Sirius and this triangle and like the philosopher's stone around Orion. I mean, it was like on crack. Okay, intuition and downloads on crack the entire time. I felt like I was in another world. I was. But Venus retrograde is a big deal. So we only have a few days, like literally from the 23rd. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 days of all planets direct. And that's it. Like, when all the planets are direct, that's go time. So you want to prepare for those 8 days where things are open to move forward. And then the energy will shift again. And when the planets start to change, when the outer planets start to change signs later on in the year, that's when the energy will shift again. But you can see, like, it's crucial timing. Everything right now is crucial timing. And the day, the 23rd, where it's the day that Mars does go direct, that's also the day where Mercury makes a trine to Mars. So there's communication there. The mind and action through the wisdom and the intelligence of the emotions plays a big role, ushering us into the direct motion of Mars. So this is like, it's very watery. It's going to be very watery this week, which of course invites in emotions. And that's funny. Pink says, I'm becoming a skilled surfer. It invites in the emotions very intensely. And we've been already, in the flow, feeling everything. But because the sun now enters back into water, it's going to heighten that frequency. So that's the magic of the week. Entering into Pisces season, the sun conjuncting Fomalhaut, one of the 4 royal fixed stars, and the Mars going direct. I would say those are the 3 big ticket items of this week. So it is another transition. And again, we're ending the year, the astrological year, and getting ready for the spring equinox, the sun entering into Aries, also eclipse season coming even before that. So there's kind of a lot going on in a general way. So let's pull some cards and see what is the wisdom that the cards want to bring us. And to do this, I will open up the records. From the deep depths of the cosmic mind, I hear a whisper. This whisper calls us inwards toward our essence. A light begins to glimmer at the center of our heart. This is the light of unity, the all-knowing wisdom of the One. Through this door, we open the gates of the Akashic, the magical flower of life. We see our duality. We recognize our sacred trinity. We begin to witness infinite possibilities as we become the observer and the observed. A powerful and luminescent light engulfs our being, and we feel many dimensions all at once. We enter the Akashic records, protected and loved by all star beings that have accessed these portals before. The records are now open. May wisdom flow, may understanding descend, and may we be blessed with the light of love. All right. So let's see what cards want to tell us. I had the funnest time when we were on the boat. I pulled out my tarot deck and I was just walking around randomly to people and being like, here, shuffle it, pull one card, ask a question and pull a card and then show me the card. And it was like tarot on crack. It was amazing. All right. The first card is the starting off point. Where are we at this week? What is the kind of central issue? I love this. We got the Hermit, and the Hermit lights the way. And that star on in the helmet's light and lamp is the Venus star. I believe it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 6 points. So it's the Star of David. The wisdom lights the way. The Hermit lights the way. This is a week where we are integrating, where we are going within, and where we are receiving important information within the sacred space of our own internal environment and cave. So the Hermit lights the way. The wise sage lights the way. The downloads are coming in. The biggest challenge for us, we get the Page of Wands. And I think that in general, what this is actually saying, not necessarily too much of a challenge, but staying connected to your passion. I think that we're going to be inspired by the information and the wisdom that we receive through this week. And it will inspire us in ways, in maybe in new ways, fresh. I feel fresh energy, fresh inspiration, fresh passion, and inner child coming out to play. I feel that very, very strongly. Let's see what else we need to know. What is, the overall theme? Page of Swords. Be ready. I feel like it's important to feel prepared. This is also maybe possibly feeling a little bit scared and not sure of what's coming at you, but you feel something coming at you. So this is going to be a week where you need to use your wisdom and the knowledge that you've gained as a student. And that this is the time where you're going to get to apply the wisdom and apply the knowledge that you have learned. And remember, the Hermit lights the way, the Sage lights the way to the unfoldment or the unfolding of the journey. The next card, Wisdom from the Ancestors, the Three of Cups. Celebrate the joys, celebrate the victories, celebrate, be in gratitude for the experience. This is also the three graces. And the three graces bring in joy and laughter and fun and playfulness. So there's a lot of playful energy this week. Let it continue. Let it seep into every space of your being, every ounce of your being, and let it inspire you. You're going to use your skills. You're going to use what you've learned. And you're going to learn that you have learned a lot. I love that. And now let's pick an animal and see which animal wants to guide us for the week. Yeah, be on the lookout for, I'm going to create an event to share the experience more formally, because I did talk about it yesterday in the Starseed membership, but I want to actually do a more formal thing. So I'll be doing that in the next week or so. I know everybody wants to know and hear all about it and see the pictures and the videos, and I took a lot of pictures. So it's been truly an amazing experience. All right, so we got two animals. We got the earthworm and the spider. This is a new beginning. The earthworm has to recognize that it sees the world. It's kind of like the mouse, and because the mouse sees the world from its point of view, which is very minute. The earthworm is the same. It can only see what's in front of it, and even doesn't even have eyes, it has senses. So this is about sensing. Pay attention, because the senses will be heightened this week. Of course, with the water energy for sure. And then the spider reminds us of the cosmicness of it all, the cosmic web, that we are all a part of the whole. So a reminder of our own individual experience is connected to the entirety of everything that exists in the universe. This Akashic web that connects us and links us all together. So this is, I feel like, because the sun is entering Pisces, we're going to experience a really beautiful understanding of that full connection. Pisces is also kind of like the world card, and the world is the completion, the point of enlightenment, where you really see what it was all about. And one thing that I'm getting a lot, and I have been, as I'm integrating my experience, is that the inner child has been freed and it's time to come out and play. Like everything is heightened and it feels so freaking amazing. All right. From the deepest depths of our soul, we give gratitude and love, for we understand we are a fractal of that cosmic whole. As we give, so we get, open to all possibilities through all time and space. We walk through the Akashic portal back to our inner space, remembering that this wisdom lives within every cell of our being. Thank you, star beings, for holding this sacred space and for protecting us during this journey through time and space. The records are now closed. And I wish you the most amazing week. I am back. So all, regular broadcasting and live shows will be back. If you have not joined us in the global community, make sure you do that. This is where I post, information, events get scheduled. We do some pretty fun things in that space. It's our own private space, community space to meet and share with each other. And there's been some new people coming in as well, which is amazing, and welcome to all the new members. And also, please, please, please check out the link below and look at all the information of the Moon Goddess training. We begin February 27th. This will be the ultimate integration of the experience, the most powerful that we've had. And they've all been powerful all the times we've done the Moon Goddess training. But this one, there's something about it. I feel a seriousness aligned with it. And I feel a full stepping together collectively into the new world. So check it out. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. And there's payment plans available, all that good stuff. Just if you're meant to be there, please reach out. We will make it happen. So thank you. Have an amazing week. And I will see you again very, very soon. Sat Nam.